All right, good evening, Klaus. How are you doing? Thank you for your time today.
Good man, always a pleasure, Christian. Always a pleasure.
So today we're
Good
going
to
to
have you
run
on.
through. Thank you very much. It's nice to see you. Like I said, I've seen you in person for a while. And for those who are going to be listening to this, I'm going to run through. I've been working with Klaus for probably the last 12 weeks online.
Yeah.
Klaus kind of was training me for 2019's competition, where I was prepping for the Mr. London, which I won, and the Mr. Britain, which I came second. And the look was great. I was still working with my coach, James Llewellyn, who looked after my nutritional plans. But Klaus was training me twice a week. And I honestly believe that a big attribute to the muscle mass I maintained last year was because of the way we were training. You know, I like to train hard, but you was pushing me heavy. Even, the last week for the competition. And I just felt like as much as the weight was going down and the condition was coming nice, the density and the thickness I seemed to hold was just a little bit more. I don't know if it was maturity, but I definitely put it down to the style of training we were doing. And like I said, we have a good relationship. I feel like I've connected with you so many times. And I do connect with you. I understand and I like your philosophy and your mindset. So obviously,
No,
Klaus,
we're very like-minded.
yeah, and it
Agree
works
on a
like,
lot of things.
yeah, and a lot of, like you said, I can coach. Obviously, I coach a lot of people, and you coach a lot of people. I don't claim to be the best coach, but I claim I'm the best for a particular client. And sometimes clients will move around from coach to coach, and that's fine. And then they find the client or the coach that is compatible for their needs at that time. So,
Exactly.
that's, you definitely helped me. I like the mindset and so forth, and obviously the training plan. And it's funny because I was training the other day in the gym the other day, and I was doing the time and attention set that we'll discuss shortly. And somebody
Yeah.
come up to me because they were watching me. They were like, you focus on the negatives, you? And I said, yeah, well, my coach put a new plan together for me. And they were like, you don't need a coach, you're a coach. And I was like, I have a business coach, a wealth coach, a mindset coach, a speaking coach, a bodybuilding coach. I have a pausing coach. I have a coach in every area that I want to be better in. So if you want to be better in any area and you don't have a coach, you should. And
Yeah.
the thing
Because
is,
you're one of the few good guys, Christian, that actually understand that we're here on this planet to learn more and to better ourselves all the time. If you think for 1 second, like a lot of coaches I know in Dubai, think they're already the best, then you're definitely not even close. You can always learn something more. And just me working with you, I also learned something. So it's a win-win for both. It's a win-win for everyone when we actually here to learn.
yeah, of course. And I've always said, like, my kind of philosophy is if you feel like you've got nothing more to learn, then that means you're ready to die.
Yeah,
Because
true.
life is about learning, and if you've learned everything you need, then it's time for you to leave.
Yeah,
That's what I've
that's
always
true.
said, and that's what I honestly believe. So, today we're going to talk through some of my training plan that I've been following for as much as you put this together, and be blunt and honest with me as well, Klaus, because
Yeah,
this is good for anybody who's going to watch that, if there's anything that I'm doing that you think is wrong, just be straight. If you want me to up the game or pull back. One thing I've noticed about myself in the past, I don't think it's the same case now, is when I've worked with people before, they've always pulled me more than they pushed me. So I have that mindset where I like just to push myself sometimes into like a destructive kind of position.
yeah,
It's not really the case now because, like I said, priority has changed. But you put this plan in place for me. It was the second workout I believe that we've done. I was following the one plan for a good 2 weeks, and this plan was changed because I wanted to keep things more functional. But it was just not pushed aside. I was enjoying the structure of the other plan, so I started this like a week ago, in all
yeah,
honesty. So I started a week ago, and the new diets come through as well, which I've been following. And I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything correct. So first of all, if it's okay, I'm going to run through some questions. Just
yeah.
let
Of
me know
course,
what you
of course.
think. So obviously some exercise, the mixed set. So let me understand this correctly, okay? The mixed set is we do 2 reps, 10 seconds up, 10 seconds down. And then we do 5 at the normal tempo.
Yeah,
Then we do 2, 10 seconds up, 10 seconds down. We do
yeah,
5 at a normal tempo. And then we could do 5 partials.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, for example, if I'm looking at the plan now and it says Monday, shoulders, chest, and biceps, you got rear delt flies, 3 mixed sets, plus 2 normal sets. So that would mean that I do 3 sets like I just discussed.
Yeah.
And then I do 2, so that's 5 sets for that exercise, right?
Yeah, true.
And with the mixed sets, am I progressing the weight up every time, or am I starting with a weight that would be fatiguing for that many reps?
No, it's not about it's not so much about weight, because you always pounded the weights. So that's a stimulus your body is adapted to. So it's not something new. What I wanted to do is I wanted to stimulate the muscle fibers from all angles. To put it bluntly, I always say, if you have a classroom, you have these guys over here, they're the white muscle fibers, and you have these guys over here, they're the red muscle fibers, right? And you have in between that can move to either side. You want to activate all the fibers. You want the whole classroom to be active in this session. So basically what we're trying to do is something I took from Dennis James when I trained with him. And it's mixed in with something Patrick True likes to use as well. I think he calls it something different, of course. But the whole idea is we try to stimulate as many muscle fibers as humanly possible. And with the partials at the end, I want you to, of course, go to failure. So this is just making it a little more advanced, because let's say you had a normal set, you did 12 reps, and you would normally stop there. But if you can push it beyond that, you know, if I can have you give me 10 to 20 more half reps, which is partials, half of the movement, then you've already gone beyond what you normally would do. So with the mixed set, that's just more advanced. We're activating the slow twitch and the fast twitch muscle fibers with the way we're trying to push the sets.
So one of the questions I have on that is, because that's how I understood it. Now, obviously, it's completely different to the way I used to train, not just the tempo. Obviously, I've played around with different tempos, but what I've certainly learned for myself is I have some sort of like mental capacity that I can tap into, especially when the weight is moderate. So if I do one set and I push myself and I go to partials to failure, it's like I'm going to war. It's like a death set. And it leaves me like neurologically battered. So do you know, if I had to repeat that 3 times, then is that what you want me to do? Repeat that 3 times?
No, 2 times, right?
2 times. Well, maybe it's 2 on some sets and maybe 3 sometimes. But is it? But that's where you want me to go to. Is that
that's
level
what I want.
of like?
I want you to dig deep. And I know it's always worse when you've gone all out on one set and you have to go back to do it again. But that's where you really have to dig deep. And I believe that that's where you make the progress, when you go above and beyond. So these are absolute killers. And of course, it's hard. It's not for everyone. But as you yourself are so dedicated, I wanted to push you to the next level. Even though we talked about you don't want to go into the gym and kill yourself like you used to do. But in this way, you're not killing yourself in a bad way. You're not putting pressure on your joints and tendons like you did before with more weight. So that's what I meant. Like, you can progress in many ways. One of the easiest ways to progress is weight. Just add more weight if you're still, of course, doing it with control. But this is different. This is something we can keep playing with, even though we're up in the ages, you know. So we not put pressure on tendons and ligaments.
Yeah, they're tough sets, man. Like I said, they are grueling. You know, and mentally and physically frustrating, because you're not used to going extremely slow on the concentric, and your mind is just telling you to push. So they're difficult sets. So I do like 2 working sets of this. To failure, and then some is got normal. Okay, so that's pretty much there. I'll run through some things that I'm a bit unfamiliar, not unfamiliar, but I'm a bit uncertain on, because what I've noticed is each body part, or each workout, I should say, because we're doing probably like 3 body parts each workout on some occasions. each workout, sometimes they're like, let me give you an example, hammer curls with a rope. So you got 4 heavy sets, 12 reps, 8 sets. So I'm guessing that's 8 build-up sets, 4 build-up sets, and then like 4 heavy sets.
No, you shouldn't have 8 sets of hammer curls. I think that's wrong.
So what I've noticed is every workout is about like 42 sets. Is that right?
No, what were you saying again, Christian? I couldn't hear the last thing. I thought you said 8 sets of
Yeah,
hammer
I did.
curls.
Yeah. So some
That's not correct.
exercises have got like 8 sets on there. Which takes me up, for example, like the calf raises has got 10 times 10, but I know you probably won't be doing like the German type calf raises, right?
Yeah, I want some more volume in there for sure.
Because I've
Some body
noticed,
parts we have to hit with more volume.
well, there's about like 42 sets per workout.
Some of them might be up above a little bit above 40, yeah, but most of them should be from 30 to 40, yeah.
So what would you say I keep
high
like
volume, but
yeah.
you're not pushing heavy weights. So I see it this way. Again, you can progress with weights, or you can progress with a bit of both. But as you told me, you don't want to push the weights. So we're focusing more on all the negatives in general, trying to stimulate the muscle as much as possible and adding in more volume so you can train more frequent, again, because you're not pounding your joints and ligaments.
Okay, so would you say, like, because obviously if I'm doing, say, 42 sets, and what I've been doing is, in order to get through this workout, this is what I do. I do a set, I walk up I walk 20 steps up, I walk 20 steps back, and I go again. Because if I'm resting like more than 30 seconds, and sometimes I do because I need to, I'm finding the workout is taking me like, is going on so extensive. So what I've been doing again, this is what I wanted to discuss with you. What I've been tending to do is I've been doing like 3 to 4 sets on most things, building the weight up.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 sets, I go to failure, or the last 2 sets are working sets. But I haven't been doing, because I consider a working set where I push until I fail.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been doing that on like 2 sets.
Yeah, no, but that's perfect. What people don't realize is, one, when you're saying 42 sets, it's not on one muscle group. People have to know that. If not, they're saying it's crazy.
Like 3,
it's like a push
sometimes.
or pull day, so it's 2 to 3 muscle groups, just to clear that out. And second thing is, when it's written in a program, you know this, just so that people know, if it's written, you have to give me 12 repetitions. That doesn't mean you give me 12 fast and done. It means you should get exactly 12 or less. It has to be failure, but to that amount of repetitions we added on a program. You know what I mean, but just so it's clear for people. So for me, it's perfect. You have your working sets, your warm-up sets, and your working sets, which are to failure, of course.
Yeah. So how many were like, obviously, like, I'm looking at the plan, and I know it's quite varied. In some there's more than others, like 4 working sets. Would it be good for me to go in with like, okay, because this is what I've been doing, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't believe anything is right or wrong, but I've pretty much been doing like 2 build-up sets on pretty much everything, and then the 2 sets I've been going to, like, the fatigue. Do you want me doing like more working sets, going to fatigue as well as the build-up, or do you want me like doing it like
that? Like with everything, I don't think more is better. So this is up to each individual. If you feel that your joints and everything are warm and ready, then I see it's perfect. You have 2 warm-ups, 2 working sets. If you go from let's say you've done your chest exercise, you have to start the first shoulder exercise. Yes, your shoulders are warm. Yes, you have blood in your shoulders from the chest exercise, but you're starting a completely new muscle group. So on that first exercise, or at least the first heavy exercise from shoulders, I would maybe take more warm-up sets. Does it make sense?
Yeah, of course, yeah. And like I said, because of the pace I'm going, because I'm like, again, I'm not pushing heavyweight, so I'm intuitively doing that in a sense. I'm trying to make myself work harder by keeping the rest period shorter as well, because I'm like, if I rest too much, in order to reach fatigue at 12 reps, I got to lift cars. I want to lift cars. I want to,
No,
lift
no.
little baby weights, like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's been that. I know, like, the abs have been an area that you've been wanting to focus on as well, because my abs, and they've been like that for many years. I've got quite a flat abdominal wall.
Yeah.
It's not like very dimensional. There's no thickness in there. So I've been implementing some of the things you said, like the weighted, crunches and sit-ups, and trying to treat it almost like another body part, where I've gone
Yeah,
in
you
and
have
I've
to.
rested and increased the weight. So I've been doing that. I'm going to just run through some of the movements. There are some movements, for example, like with my pec, because I had a minor pec tear probably like 2 years ago. So when it comes to the chest movement, I do tend to back off a little bit or I choose the movements that right, rather than me do like a barbell or a flat press. I've been choosing something that I feel comfortable on. And I've been pushing the reps just a little bit higher, rather than like 5 to 8 reps, keeping it low. I've been pushing up to like 12, again, because the weight is not as heavy, and I just don't want to rip anything,
But just so people can follow exactly what you're saying. So an example would be, instead of, let's say, bench press were on the program, which I'm pretty sure I did not put on. But let's just say, for example's sake, if you can switch that out with a machine flat press, of course, if that feels better and more safe for you, like you switch from one thing to another because you feel more safe, especially with the previous injury, that is perfectly fine. And I would rather have you do that instead of you trying to push you into an exercise that you're not comfortable with.
Yeah, because you've done a good job designing a plan for me, but at the same time, and I say this to clients, nobody should know your body like yourself.
No, exactly.
If something doesn't feel right, I mean, the issue we have, and you're probably the same with many clients you work with, is they don't have the experience to choose alternatives.
Yeah.
So they feel they need something that's almost black and white to follow. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Like I said, in all honesty, last week I followed it to the T pretty much. Although I just said that I was doing like 2 warm-up sets. That's what I normally did, previously. But last week I've been doing, okay, I want to follow to the T. I want to see how long it takes me. I want to, come up with some questions I may have and run them by you, because I like to be on the same level, So I got the
living in Dubai is you have so many varieties of machines you can choose from. That's perfectly fine. The main thing in the way I do the workout plans, I mean, it's how they're structured, because there are some things I want you to do at the beginning of the workout to be sure that you get better activation in the muscle group you're working. For example, let's say you have a back workout. There's different things we can activate the lat. You don't have a problem activating your lat, but for most people, doing a pullover, cable pullover would be a great way to activate the lats before you go to pull downs or other row movements. So for me, structure is important, but if there's exercises you feel more comfortable doing another variety of in machine, for me, it's perfectly fine. Or even, let's say one day you're in a gym, not like Binus, a smaller gym where it's the machine you're supposed to use is occupied. Of course, you can go over and use another machine. But I want you to stick to the program as close as possible.
Yeah.
Or of course, there may be some issues some days.
Yeah, I do. And like I said, it's knowing, for example, what exercises to choose. So if you put, for example, cable crossovers first, then to me that was like, okay, well, he wants to isolate my pecs and fatigue them in a way that just not half of it. And so obviously the pec tear and so forth I've had in the past. And 2, I think, okay, well, there has to be a priority in that lower pec region, because that's why it's first. So then I would choose something, although I would do that movement, I would choose something that targets that area, that works pretty well. So that is pretty much some of the question I had. Really, it was more about the volume, because, like I said, the workout, it was taking me probably like hour and 30 minutes until I started up in the pace between the rest. Because I'm very much like, if you tell me what to do, I will do it.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
So if you said to me like, and I've had it before where the coaches that I work with some great coaches, mine, but I work with people, and in the beginning they didn't understand my mindset, and they've said things like, I want you to do interval training, and I want you to go 30 seconds on, and for 30 seconds I want you to go as fast as you can. Well, this for me is a heart attack recipe, because if I do this for 30 minutes and I'm going as fast as I can, I'm going and the machine's almost going to break, like, because I like, okay, you told me to like, okay, run into that wall. I'm going to run into the wall. Like, and it's like on the Terminator film, he goes like, stand on one leg and he's got his leg up after like 5 minutes. He's like, put your leg down now. Kind of like that. So that is pretty much it. That's all I wanted to know with it. It was the volume. I know you've got the leg day in there twice a week. One thing is with the functional stuff, because I mentioned doing some functional mobility stuff as well on the Saturday.
Yeah.
I want to really start getting into like calisthenics. I want to be able to just do like muscle ups and, handstand press ups and all these things. Yeah. So would you think that would be good to fit that in on that Saturday?
I think it's absolutely great to have more functional training in there. Calisthenics, I can say with all honesty, it's not my expertise. So I wouldn't be able to put a plan together for that day. That's also why until now I let you do your thing. Yeah. I was more into plyometrics, more explosive training when I was doing my wrestling days. Calisthenics, I don't have experience, but absolutely it'll make a big difference, especially on the road you're on right now, where it's not all about size and how we look, but actually being functional, having more energy, being more fit in general, and just feeling great, man. That's what it's all about. So if you can do stuff like that, where you feel you're stronger in a lot of different positions, you can actually convert into everyday life. If you need to do something, instead of we walk around super big, we can't even bend forward and tie our shoes.
Yeah, exactly. So and again, it's not my field either. With that, I feel there's something very, I don't know. You always see somebody being able to lift their body weight effortlessly.
Yeah,
that's it. Just something that makes you stop and look at that, right? Even you go like Cirque du Soleil, you look at gymnastics, and you're like, wow, this is just strength and balance and stability. So now that I'm a lot lighter as well, I think like moving forward, definitely I'll keep this plan. Like it does have a lot of volume, and I enjoy like I said, because I look at the program, I think, okay, I have to get through these many sets, and I'm quite limited to like an hour for my working out. I'm like, okay, in order for me to get this much volume in, I have to rest minimum.
Yeah.
And not only that, what I've been doing as well, because I've been averaging like 25,000 to 30,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
Literally. And because I'm walking up and down in between the sets as well, the entire workout is like a cardiovascular workout, which I don't mind doing that at the moment. One thing I wanted to speak to you as well about is my cardio. So it's been difficult for me to get the fasted cardio in the morning. I know you didn't really say fasted cardio, but I did like to do fasted cardio because I normally start my clients at like 6 a.m. And as much as I get up at 5 a.m. and walk the dog and so forth, it's just, I'm not able to get that in. Sometimes I'm having to do like an hour cardio after my workout, which I've been doing. What if I push the cardio intensity up? Like, so
I don't think you need to do that much cardio, Christian. I honestly don't think you need to do it. You told me you wanted to do the cardio and you're doing it anyway. You're taking your walks and stuff like that. So I kept it in because it's already something you're doing. But I don't think it's necessary. If you wanted the cardio because of you wanted to be healthy cardiovascular wise, I would definitely recommend HIIT, high intensity cardio sessions, you know, with sprints and stuff like that. If you don't want to run, of course, I've been doing it on the assault bike, which is hardcore as well. This is amazing type of cardio, to be honest. And you can get it done within 10, 15 minutes max. You'll be all out done. The 1 hour is mostly because you told me you're doing your walks already, right?
Yeah,
And
but
on
I've
your
been doing
walks,
that
you
extra, see,
phone
that's the
calls.
thing. I've been doing, you know what I said, like, because I maybe missed the communication. I was doing like I walk the dog in the morning before I leave, usually like 20
Yeah.
minutes. But I don't include that. And then
Okay.
I've been doing like an hour at the tread, like say 30 minutes on the cross trainer and 30 minutes on the Stairmaster for the last week. And then I walk the dog again at night sometimes with 20 minutes. But I was thinking like, okay, I do the cardio. But what shall I minimize it to then? Shall I take it down?
I think we should. That might be some misunderstanding. Yeah. Sorry about that, Christian.
Oh no,
But
no,
as
it's
you can
me.
see
It's
from
probably
all of us here,
yeah.
we can get it wrong as well.
Mm.
So sorry about that. But definitely we have to switch it to some HIIT cardio, I would say. And I would do it right after the weight training session.
Mm. Can I do it on the Stairmaster?
You can do it on
Or I can do it on
Stairmaster.
anything, is it?
Yeah, you can do it basically, but Stairmaster, of course, harder.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do high speeds on that.
So you want me to go? So again, right? Going back to that, you know what I just said. Now, if you tell me to do it, so let me write this down now. So how much do you want me to do?
15 minutes just to start off
15
with.
minutes.
Because as we talked about many times, Christian, it's all about making your time every day more efficient.
Yeah.
You know, where can we save some time we can use for something else? So see, if you're now getting 45 minutes free to work more or to have time off, that's amazing. And we can still create the same results. Because the overall goal, as you were telling me right now, is to be healthy, fit, you know, and so we don't need to be doing the competition like cardio.
Yeah, because again, like I said, I feel like I have to get it in. So I still haven't switched that mindset off where, you know, I feel like I need to be following it to the T, you know. But I tell you what I've done though, like a few times is, I'll be honest, I've had like an apple here and there, you know, because the diet sometimes I don't even think it's not hunger or anything. It's just I sometimes enjoy an apple. So like
Then we have to put an apple in
put
the
an
diet.
apple in my diet somewhere. I don't know what it is, but okay. So 15 minutes, and what type of tempos then, or intervals?
No, it has to be almost sprint
Sprint.
intervals. Like if you're not used to it, I would start off with the 30-second sprint, followed by 2 minutes normal paced.
Okay. So 30
You
seconds.
do that for 10 to 15 minutes the first week at least.
Okay, so 30 seconds, like if I'm running from the police.
All out, yeah. Lions behind you.
and 2 minutes, like if I'm just strolling from the shop.
Yeah.
So, I can do that.
But if you want to make it more fun, you can incorporate some exercise as well. I've seen a lot of guys, you know, they do, let's say 5 minutes intervals on the stairs. Then they have some kettlebells right next to them. So they do some, you know, body squats, like as many as you can take on 30 seconds. And then you actually just rest for 1 minute. That would be different, of course. But you can switch it up a lot. We can
like
make a program where you have
or
different
boxing.
If you want that as well, of course, because it's all about making it fun as well for us to keep doing it. So if you feel like, especially the cardio now, if you feel like that's been something you just needed to do, that's already a negative way of thinking.
Yeah,
we want to eliminate all the negative thoughts, and the things we do, we have to make them interesting or fun at least. So it's worthwhile, you know, we can keep doing it.
So let's say, for example, now I do this, right? 10 to 15 minutes. And again, guys, anybody listening and watching, I'm writing notes because, again, and something Klaus said as well, if you don't write it down, it's 10 times more effective when you write something down. But not only that, I'm writing notes because I'm not going to remember this conversation, all of the details of it. So I'm writing notes. One of my wealth coaches said to me that he went on a expedition with Richard Branston, and they had a meeting. And the next morning, Richard asked him something, and he was saying, "Look in your notes." He was like, "I didn't take those." He was like, "Well, that's the mistake you'll never make again. You should have wrote it down." So
No,
if
but see, it's all about notes.
yeah.
Throughout the whole day, notes.
So let's say, for example, now that I do this, but let's say one day I don't want to do it because I just feel fatigued or the workout was tough and I just haven't got the mindset to push myself for 30 seconds. Can I do an alternative like higher duration cardio at a lower pace?
Yeah, you can.
So how much would you suggest?
I would say 30 minutes. You don't need
30
to do
minutes.
more. Yeah, you don't need to do more. But you are also good at listening to your body. So if it's a day you're really fatigued or you even have pain in your joints, ligaments as well, then don't do it. Of course, you have to listen to your body as well.
Okay, my body's telling me no. No, was there? My mind is telling me no, but my body's telling me yeah. Remember that one?
Yeah.
No. All right then. So listen to your body. Okay, that is pretty much it that I wanted. There was one more thing. I think the cardio. The food is fine. I'm following the food. I make it into pancakes in the morning. My wife makes the breakfast, which I just eat on the way for my first client, which is fine. Very slow. I don't rush it. The food is fine. I am very hungry mind, but again, I understand the principle is like we get lean, so we're in a deficit, and we get lean fast. And when we're in that kind of condition, then we can afford to just, and that's what I want. I want to gain size. Then it'd be nice for me to do like a lean growth phase when I'm lean, because man, I went through a period. It was like a skinny fat, like, the weight just come on for no reason, and then it was just that sticky range,
No,
Okay,
but we
so
talked about the other day the reason with the diet, and as you told me, you were worried about the fat content being too low because we also want the good fats for the health benefits. But if it's a short amount of time, we're keeping the fats a little bit lower than they should be to keep the overall calories down, to get you to the point from A to B as fast as possible, to get you a little bit leaner where you want to be, and it's so much easier to maintain afterwards. And that's where we can add in the good fats again, and we can stay there and we can maintain it. That's the whole way of thinking, at least.
Yeah, and again, like I'm on probably because around the calories are not low.
No.
But we were on a lot, so that was a good thing. Some of my clients, I'm not afraid to take the calories low, like, especially when they it's a bit different. Maybe it's not, but with me, okay, on the one side of me, I want to get results fast. But on the other side, I know because of the condition my body's in and because I'm doing things naturally and everything else, if I push it too aggressively, it's not going to get the results I would expect. So it'll have to be like a slow, steady. But I have some clients, and you might do the same. They want to look a certain way by this date. And man, I'm like, look, we have to suck it up. It is what it is. You have to eat. We got to eat because, otherwise it's not going to be met, or you either change the time frame.
No, but it's two different viewpoints. There's the one type that we were that just wanted results here and now. So we do everything we need to do to look a certain way, and we don't mind that we feel like shit. For most normal clients or us right now, we actually do mind because it affects our mood, our work, everything at home. So I don't mind, you don't mind, to taking it at a slower pace. So we actually feel good throughout the whole duration, which is healthy as well, But a lot of people, they don't think like that. They want the results here and now, and they don't care about how they feel. And I understand it because we were there not too long ago. But just to let people know, you can actually get the exact same results, taking it a little slower pace, but feel amazing throughout the whole, journey. And then I believe if you've been doing it for a longer amount of time, it'll be easy to maintain afterwards as well.
Of course, and it's not so much of a shock. The body customizes and adapts with you. One thing I've noticed is about, like, with me is to sleep. My sleep was terrible, and it's the dog, man. I mean, you're gonna have it all when the boy comes. We got a French bulldog, right? He was 6 months old when we had him, so he was and he was in a pack of 7, so he was used to sleeping with a pack. So we brought him home. He can't sleep on his own. He yelps and cries, right? So we brought him into the bedroom in the ensuite. Then he was jumping over the gate. So anyway, now what happens is we put him in the spare room, go to sleep, because he snores so loud, right? And one time, right, honestly, I was in a dream and I was on a call with a client, and I could hear this like loud noise, and I was trying to listen to the client. I woke up and he was sleeping behind my head, and his face was there, and he's like in my ear, man. And it's keeping me out from going into my deeper sleep, So now we put him in the spare room, but about like 3:30, he barks, he wakes up, and then he comes in the bedroom and he's disruptive. So the point I'm trying to make is, like, what I've noticed certainly is, even if the food is low with myself, if I sleep quality, and I'm not talking about quantity, if I sleep good, I always revert to my brain function. Sometimes I can't string a conversation together. I'm like looking for words, I'm stuttering over things, and I'm like, wow, that didn't sound good. And other times things are just flowing fast, and often it's the sleep with me. If I'm not sleeping and getting enough quality, everything else is affected. So
no, it's so important, and people don't realize it, and they only think about the number. How many hours did you sleep? I got 8 hours. Wow, that's amazing. Not if you woke up 5 times during the night and you didn't go into a deep REM sleep. Then it's shit sleep. It's not quality, like you say. I would rather have you have 5 to 6 hours quality sleep. You wake up maybe once, you go into deep REM sleep, everything's perfect. That would be most optimal. And how can we get to that point? Well, a lot of things we can do. Like we have in a small amount of carbs later on during the night, but again, not too close to when you go to sleep. Actually helps you fall asleep and go into a deeper sleep. And then we add in, minerals like we talked about. You can use a standard CMA, zinc, magnesium, B6. I would actually add in more magnesium. That will help you relax, go more quiet into a deeper sleep as well. Ashwagandha, even CBD oil. I know it's not legal in Dubai, but at least I think UK and Europe, US at least, it helps you a lot also to lower inflammation. So it lowers your stress, and again, that affects how you sleep as well. So there's a lot of good things we can do to affect our sleep, like I mentioned, with the food, supplements, and it makes a huge difference because, like you say, you wake up one day, everything's working perfectly. Next day, it's brain fog. You can't remember, you fumble with words, and that's all because of bad sleep, man.
Yeah, and I was looking at studies as well, and like obviously because most people nowadays are going to more mush-like food, vegan and vegetarian. We actually need to chew hard, dense texture like meat to create the structure in our jawline and allow the teeth to flow in the right position, so the tongue sits right and the breath comes through effectively. Which if you're not breathing correct, you're not going into that deep sleep. So we need to look at everything. Even like I work with my clients. I take and you more than likely do the same. I take like a big holistic approach. I'm like, what are you doing the last hour before bed? What are you doing the first hour? I mean, when is your data on? Is it by the side of you? Are you dimming the lights? Are you reading a book? Are you making a list of things you need to do tomorrow to get this stuff out of your head? Are you meditating? Are you doing mindfulness? So the sleep is so important. And again, we go back to the same conversation. We're all trying to get as maximum effort and results from minimum time. So I don't want to be sleeping 8 hours a day. I really don't.
No.
I want to be sleeping 6 hours max, but effective.
Exactly.
I want to be up. So one of the things I was doing, and I stopped doing it, is I was drinking coffee when I first woke up, That's like the worst thing we can do. Like, I mean, because you got the cortisol spike already, you got the adrenaline spike, and then you're drinking coffee. There's nothing for you until like 90 minutes after that cortisol's relaxed or calmed down. You just get all the negatives. So when I was preparing, so I did the PT of the Year awards, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and I
Big
had to do
congratulations with that, by the
yeah,
way. I
thank
didn't.
you. So I had
It's
to do a
amazing.
presentation, right, on urinary stress incontinence. We had to do it was a
Okay.
case study, and we had to present in front of 8 judges. And in all honesty, I haven't worked with many people with this condition. So I had like a week to like research, to study, to devise a plan and an action plan and present. And man, to be honest, it was stressing me out. It was really like, it was overwhelming me.
Yeah.
And my anxiety was like high, and my heartbeat and my blood pressure was like for a few days. And I was like, man, I have to back off the coffee as well, because this is just, not that I drink a lot, I drink like 2 cups a day, but I was like,
Yeah.
this is definitely contributing to that, potential adrenal fatigue if I run on that adrenaline too long, So
It's affecting
Zen
your
is the way.
nervous system in a very bad way, making you even more anxious, which is not helpful.
All right, then. Thank you, man. I appreciate your time. I really do. It's been a pleasure. I haven't seen you for a while, and I hope the next, well,
No, thank you,
however long
Christian,
it
man.
is, next 1 to 3 weeks, before your boy is born,
Yeah,
hope it
yeah,
goes as
yeah.
smooth as it can go. And
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you very much. I'm going to work on this now, and yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it, Klaus.
No, you're welcome, man. I'm only happy to help, such a educated person as yourself, It's for me, it's amazing working with people like you that are up here, the best of the best, It makes it interesting, and it's a win-win for us both. So I'm really happy with the opportunity as well to be working with a great guy as yourself, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, let's wrap it up.